you all here in my beautiful living room with my beautiful family. I hope you all are having a wonderful evening so far. And behind me, you see my beautiful family enjoying a fun game for fun families. It's Jenga. And I just want you to know that I am not playing games when I tell you to please silence or turn off your cell phones. If you don't, I will find you in the parking lot after the show. Just so you know. Enjoy the show. Thank you guys so much for coming out.
It's time I left this place.
Mother, please, I can't keep up. You walk at such a pace.
Don't trouble, child. No need to show me out. It's not your manners I'm concerned about.
Mother, we only pay you the respects we owe, but I just hurry. Must you go?
I must. This house appalls me. No one in it would pay attention for a single minute. Children, I take my leave much vexed in spirit. I offer good advice, but you won't hear it. You all break in and chatter on and on. It's like a madhouse with the keeper gone.
Oh, maybe.
Girl, you talk too much, and I'm afraid you're far too saucy for a lady's maid. You push in everywhere and have your say.
But grandmother,
You boy grow more foolish every day. To think my grandson should be such a dunce. I said 100 times, if I've said it once, that if you keep the course on which you've started, you'll leave your worthy father broken-hearted.
I think...
And you, his sister, seem so pure, so shy, so innocent, and so demure. But you know what they say about still waters. I pity parents with secretive daughters.
Now, Mother!
And as for you, child, let me add that your behavior is extremely bad. For example, for these children, too. Their dear dead mother did far better than you. You're much too free with money, and I'm distressed to see you so elaborately dressed. When it's one's husband that one aims to please, one has no need of costly fripperies.
Really?
You are a brother, sir, and I respect and love you. Yet if I were my son, this lady's rude and pious spouse, I wouldn't make you welcome in my house. You're full of worldly counsels, which I fear are not suitable for decent folk to hear. I've spoken bluntly, sir, but it behooves us not to mince words when righteous fervor moves us.
your man Tartuffe is full of holy speech.
And practices precisely what he preaches. He's a fine man and should be listened to. I will not hear him mocked by fools like you.
Good God, do you expect me to submit to the tyranny of that carping hypocrite? Must we forego all joys and satisfactions because that bigot censures all our actions?
But to hear him talk, and he talks all the time, there's nothing one can do that's not a crime. He rails at everything, your dear Tartuffe.
Whatever he reproves deserves reproof. He's out to save your souls, and all of you must love him as my son would have you do.
Ah, no, grandmother, I could never take to such a rascal, even for my father's sake. That's how I feel, and I shall not dissemble. His every action makes me seethe and tremble with helpless anger, and I have no doubt that he and I will shortly have it out.
Surely it is a shame and a disgrace to see this man usurp the master's place. To see this beggar, who when he first came had not a shoe or shoestring to his name, so far forget himself that he behaves as if the house were his, and we his slaves.
Well, mark my words, your souls would fare far better if you obeyed his precepts to the letter.
You see him as a saint. I'm far less odd. In fact, I see right through him. He's a fraud.
Nonsense. You all regard him with distaste and fear, because he tells you what you are loath to hear, condemns your sins, points out your moral flaws, and humbly strives to further heaven's cause.
If sin is all that bothers him, why is it he's so upset when folk drop in to visit? Is heaven so outraged by a social call that he must prophesy against us all? I'll tell you what I think if you ask me. He's jealous of my mistress's company.
Rubbish. He's not alone, child, in complaining of all your promiscuous entertaining, but why the whole neighborhood's upset. I know. by all these carriages that come and go, with crowds of guests parading in and out, and noisy servants loitering about. In all this, I'm sure there's nothing vicious, but why? Why give people cause to be suspicious?
One can't fight slander. It's a losing battle. Let us instead ignore their tittle-tattle. Let's strive to live by conscience, clear decrees, and let the gossips gossip as they please.
I tell you that you're blessed to have Tartuffe dwelling as my son's guest beneath this roof, that heaven has sent him to forestall its wrath by leading you once more to the true path, that all he reprehends is reprehensible, and that you had better heed him and be sensible. These visits, balls, and parties in which you revel are nothing but inventions of the devil. As a wise preacher said on Sunday last, parties are towers of Babylon, because the guests are Babylon with never pause. And then he told a story, which I think, I heard that laugh, sir, and I saw that wink. Go find your silly friends and laugh some more. Enough, I'm going. Don't show me to the door. I leave this household much dismayed and vexed. I cannot say when I shall see you next. Wake up! Don't sit there gaping into space. I'll slap some sense into that stupid face. Move, you two sluts!
I think I'll stay behind. I want no further pieces of her mind. How is that old lady?
Oh, what wouldn't she say to you? You speak of her that way. She'd thank you for the lady, but I'm sure she'd find the old a little premature.
What a scene she made, and what a din, and how this man Tartuffe has taken her in.
Yes, but her son is even worse deceived. His folly must be seen to be believed. In the late troubles, he played an able part and served his king with wise and loyal heart. But he's quite lost his senses since he fell beneath that Tartuffe's infatuating spell. He calls him brother, loves him as his life, preferring him to mother, child, or wife. Tartuffe, much pleased to find so easy a victim, has in 100 ways beguiled and tricked him, milked him of money, and with his permission established here a sort of inquisition.
You did well not to follow. She stood in the door and said verbatim all she'd said before. I saw my husband coming. I think I'd best go upstairs now and have a little rest.
I'll wait and greet him here, then I must go. I've really only time to say hello.
Sound him about my sister's wedding, please. I think Tartuffe's against it and that he's been urging my father to withdraw his blessing. As you will know, I find that most distressing. Unless my sister and Valere can marry, my hopes to wed his sister will miscarry. And I'm determined to do
He's coming.
Brother, good day.
Welcome back. I'm sorry I can't stay. How was the country? Blooming, I trust, and breeze?
Excuse me, brother, just a moment. A dream? To put my mind at rest, I always learn the household news the moment I return. Has all been well these few days that I've been gone? How is the family? What's been going on?
Your wife, 2 days ago, had a bad headache and a fierce fever which refused to leave her.
And Tartuffe?
Tartuffe? Why, he's round and red, bursting with health and excellently fed.
Poor fellow.
That night, the mistress was unable to take a single bite at the dinner table. Her headache pains, she said, were simply hellish.
And Tartuffe?
He ate his meal with relish and zealously devoured in her presence a leg of mutton and a brace of pheasants.
Poor fellow.
Well, the pains continued strong, so she tossed and tossed all night long. Now icy cold, now burning like a flame, we sat by her side till morning came.
And Tartuffe?
Why, having eaten, he rose and sought his room, already in a doze, got into his warm bed and snored away soundly until the break of day.
Poor fellow.
After much ado, we talked her into dispatching someone for a doctor. He bled her and the fever quickly fell.
And Tartuffe?
He bore it very well. To keep his cheerfulness at any cost and make up for the blood Madame had lost, he drank at lunch 4 beakers full of port.
Poor fellow.
Both are doing well, in short. I'll tell Madame you've expressed anxious sympathy and keen interest.
That girl was laughing in your possibly be such a goose? Are you so dazed by this man's hocus pocus that all the world save him is out of focus? You have given him clothing, shelter, food, and care. Why must you also...
Brother, stop right there. You do not know the man of whom you speak.
I grant you that, but my judgment's not so weak that I can't tell by his effect on others.
But when you meet him, you two will be like brothers. There's been no loftier soul since time began. He is a man who... a man who... an excellent man. To keep his precepts is to be reward, and to fill this dunghill of a world with scorn. Yes, thanks to him, I'm a changed man indeed. Under his tutelage, my soul's been freed from earthly loves, every human tie. Why, my mother, children, brother, wife could all die, and I'd not feel a single moment's pain.
Fine sentiment, brother. Most humane.
Have you seen Tartuffe as I first knew him? Your heart, like mine, would have surrendered to him. He used to come into our church each day and humbly kneel nearby and start to pray. He'd draw the eyes of everybody there by the deep fervor of his heartfelt prayer. He'd sigh and he'd weep, and sometimes with a sound of rapture he'd bend and kiss the ground. And when I rose to go, he'd run before and offer me holy water at the door. His serving man, and no less devout than he, informed me of his master's poverty. I gave him gifts, but in his humbleness he begged me every time to give him less. Oh, that's too much, he'd cry. Too much by twice, I don't deserve it, the half so would suffice. And when I wouldn't take it back, he'd share half of it with the poor right then and there. At length, heaven prompted me to take him in, to dwell with us and to free our souls from sin. He guides our lives, and to protect our honor stays by my wife and keeps an eye upon her. It tells me everyone she sees, all she does, and seems more jealous than I ever was.
God, man, have you lost your common sense? This is all some joke at my expense. How can you stand there and all so bright?
Brother, your language savors of impiety. Too much free thinking's made your faith unsteady, and as I've told you many times already, it will get you into trouble before you're through.
So I've been told before by dupes like you. Being blind, you have all others blind as well. To the clear-eyed man you call an infidel, and he who sees through humbug and pretense is charged by you with want of reverence. Spare me your warnings, brother. I have no fear to speak up for you and heaven to hear against affected zeal and pious knavery. There is true and false in piety as in bravery, and just as those who shine the most in battle are the least inclined to boast, it's for those whose hearts are truly pure and lowly to make a flashy show of being holy.
Oh.
There is a vast difference, it seems to be, between true piety and hypocrisy. How do you fail to see it, may I ask? Is not a face quite different from a mask?
Well, I see, dear brother, that you're profoundly wise. You harbor all the insight of the age. You are one of your mind, only sage. The error's oracle, it's Cato too, and all mankind are fools compared to you.
Brother, I don't pretend to be a sage, nor have I all the wisdom of the age. There's just one insight I would dare to claim. I know that true and false are not the same. Rogue knaves are all too common. For the wise, true piety isn't hard to recognize. Happily, these present times provide us with some bright examples to instruct and guide us. The truly good are never ostentatious, never vain. Their religion is moderate and humane. It's not their way to criticize and chide. They think censoriousness a mark of pride. Therefore, letting others preach and rave, we show by deeds how Christians should behave. Don't think no evil of their fellow man. Judge of him as kindly as they can. They don't intrigue or wangle or conspire. Lead a good life is their one desire. But the sinner wastes no rancor's hate of them. It is the sin alone that they condemn. Nor do they try to show a fiercer zeal for heaven's cause than heaven itself could feel. These men I honor. These men I advocate as models for us all to emulate, but Your man is not their sort at all, I fear. And even though your praise of him is quite sincere, I think that you have been dreadfully deluded.
Oh, and now then, brother, is your speech quite concluded?
Wait, yes.
Your servant, sir?
No, brother, wait, there's one more matter. You agreed to play that young Valere might have your daughter's hand.
I did.
And set the date, I understand.
Quite so.
You've no postponed it, is that true?
No doubt.
The match no longer pleases you?
Yeah, who knows?
Do you mean to go back on your word?
I won't say that.
Has anything occurred that might entitle you to break your pledge?
Perhaps.
Why must you hem and haw and hedge? The boy asked me to sound you in this affair.
It's been a pleasure.
What shall I tell Valere?
Whatever you like.
What have you decided? What are your plans?
I plan, sir, to be guided by heaven's will.
Oh, brother, don't talk rot. You have given Valere your word. Will you keep it or not?
Good day.
This looks like poor Valere's undoing. I'll go and warn him that there's trouble brewing.
Marianne,
Yes, Father?
a word with you. Come here.
What are you looking for?
Eavesdrop, Sticker. I'm making sure we shan't be overheard. Someone in there could catch our every word. Good. Oh, now we're safe. Now, Marianne, my child, you're a sweet girl who's tractable and mild, whom I hold dear and think most highly of.
I'm deeply grateful, Father, for your love.
That's well said, my daughter. And you can repay me if, in all things, you'll cheerfully obey me.
To please you, sir, is what delights me best.
Good, good. Now, what do you think of Tartuffe, our guest?
I, sir?
Yes. Weigh your answer. Think it through.
Oh, dear. I'll say whatever you wish me to.
That's wisely said, my daughter. Say of him, then, that he's the very worthiest of men, and that you're fond of him, and would rejoice in being his wife, if that should be my choice. Well,
What?
what's that? Well,
Forgive me, pray.
did you not hear me?
Well, of whom, sir? Must I say that I am fond of him and shall rejoice in being his wife, if that should be your choice?
Why, of Tartuffe.
But, Father, that's false, you know. Why would you have me say what isn't so?
Because I am resolved it shall be true, and that it's my wish it should be enough for you.
You can't.
Yes, Tartuffe shall be allied by marriage to this family. He's to be your husband, is that clear? It's a father's privilege to... what are you doing in here? Is curiosity so fierce a passion with you that you must eavesdrop in this fashion?
There's lately been a rumor going about, based on some punch or chance remark, no doubt, that you mean for Marianne to wed Tartuffe. I've laughed it off, of course, as just a spoof.
You find it so incredible.
Yes, I do. I won't accept that story, sir, even from you.
Well, you'll believe it when the thing is done.
Yes, yes, of course. Go and have your fun.
I've never been more serious in my life. Daughter, I mean it. You're to be his wife.
No, don't believe your father. It's all a hoax.
See here, young woman.
Come, sir, no more jokes. You can't fool us.
How dare you talk that way?
All right. We believe you, sad to say. But how a man like you, who looks so wise and wears a hairpiece of such splendid size, can be so bold?
Silence, please. My girl, you take too many liberties. I'm master here, as you must not forget.
Now, do let's discuss this calmly. Don't be upset. You can't be serious, sir, about this plan. What should that bigot want with Marianne? Praying and fasting ought to keep him busy. And then in terms of wealth and rank, what is he? Why should a man of property like you pick out a beggar's son?
That will do. Speak of his poverty with reverence. He is a pure and saintly indigence, which far transcends all worldly pride and pelf. He lost his fortune, as he says himself, because he cared for heaven alone, and so was careless of his interests here below. I mean to get him out of his present straits, and to help him recover his estates, which in his part of the world have no small fame, Poor though he is, he's a gentleman all the same.
Yes, so he tells us. Sir, it seems to me such pride goes very ill with piety. A man whose spirit spurns this dungy earth ought not to brag of lands and noble birth. Such worldly arrogance will hardly square with meek devotion and the life of prayer. But this approach I see has drawn a blank. Let's speak of his person then, not his rank. Doesn't it seem to you a trifle grim to give a girl like her to a man like him? When two are so ill-suited, can't you see what the sad consequence is bound to be? For one's bridegroom isn't to one's taste, it's hardly an inducement to be chaste. And many a man with horns upon his brow has made his wife the thing that she is now. It's hard to be a faithful wife, in short, to certain husbands of a certain sort. And he who gives his daughter to a man she hates must answer for her sins at heaven's gates. Think, sir, before you play so risky a role.
This servant girl presumes to save my soul.
You would do well to ponder what I've said.
Daughter, will disregard this dunderhead. Just trust your father's judgment. Oh, I'm aware that I once promised you to young Valere, but now I hear he gambles, which so greatly shocks me. What's more, I doubt about his orthodoxy. His visits to church, I know, are very few.
But would you have him go at the same hours as you and kneel nearby to be sure of being seen?
I can dispense with such remarks, Doreen. Tartuffe, however, is sure of heaven's blessing. That's the only treasure worth possessing. This match will bring you joys beyond all measure. Your cup will overflow with every pleasure. You two will interchange your faithful loves like two sweet cherubs or two turtle doves. No harsh word shall be heard, no frown be seen, and he shall make you happy as a queen.
And she'll make him a cuckold. Just wait and see.
What language?
Oh, he's a man of destiny. He's made for horns, and what the stars demand, your daughter's virtue surely can't withstand.
Don't interrupt me further. Why can't you learn that certain things are none of your concern?
It's
Marianne,
You're
if I
sick
didn't...
that I interfere.
Most kind of you. Now hold your tongue, you hear?
I didn't love you.
Spare me your affection.
I'll love you, sir, in spite of your objection.
But
Well, I can't bear it, sir, for your honor's sake, to let you make this ludicrous mistake.
you mean to go on talking?
If I didn't protest this sinful marriage, my conscience couldn't rest.
If you don't hold your tongue, little shrew.
What? Lost your temper? A pious man like you?
Yes! Yes, you talk, and you talk. I'm maddened by it. Once and for all, I tell you to be quiet.
Well, I'll be quiet, but I'll be thinking hard.
Think all you like, and you'd better guard that saucy tongue of yours, or I'll... Now, child, I've weighed this matter fully.
It drives me wild that I can't speak.
Tartuffe is no young dandy, but still, his person
Is as sweet as candy.
is such that, even if you shouldn't care for his other merits...
They'll make a lovely pair. If I were she, no man would marry me against my inclination and go scot-free. He'd learn before the wedding day was over how readily a wife can take a lover.
It seems you treat my orders as a joke.
What's the matter? It's not to you I spoke.
What were you doing?
Talking to myself, that's all.
One more bit. Impudence and God, I shall give her a good slap in the face. Now, child, you shall accept, and with good grace, the husband I've selected. Your wedding day. Come, why don't you talk to yourself?
I have nothing to say.
Oh, come. Just one word.
No, thank you, sir. I'll pass.
Oh, come, speak. I'm waiting.
I'd not be such an ass.
In short, dear daughter, I mean to be obeyed, and you must bow to the sound choice I've made.
I'd not wed such a monster even in jest.
Daughter, that maid of yours is a thorough pest. He's me sinfully annoyed and nettled. I can't speak further, my nerves are too unsettled. She's upset me with her insolent talk, or go and calm myself by going for a walk.
Well, have you lost your tongue, girl? Must I play your part and say the lines you ought to say? Faced with a fate so hideous and absurd, can you not utter one dissenting word?
What good would it do? A father's power is great.
Resist him now, or it'll be too late. Tell him that you cannot love on a whim. Tell him that you shall marry for yourself and not
but it bounds along to father's strict control. I couldn't oppose it now to save my soul.
Come, Marianne, do listen to reason, won't you? You promised Valet your hand. Do you love him or don't you?
Oh, how unjust of you! What can you mean by asking such a question, dear Doreen? You know the depth of my affection for him. I've told you 100 times how I adore him.
I don't believe in everything I hear. Who knows if your professions were sincere?
They were, Doreen, and you do me wrong to doubt it. Heaven knows. I've been all too frank about it.
You love him then?
More than I can express.
And he, I take it, cares for you no less.
I think so.
And you both with equal fire burn to be married?
That is our one desire.
What of Tartuffe then? What of your father's plan?
I'll kill myself if I'm forced to wed him.
I hadn't thought of that before. How splendid. Just die, and all your troubles will be ended. A fine solution. It maddens me to hear you talking that self-pity
Oh,
indeed.
Doreen, how harsh you are. It is most unfair. You have no sympathy for my despair.
I've none at all for people who talk drivel, and when faced with difficulties, whine and snivel.
No doubt I'm timid, but it would be wrong.
True love requires a heart that's firm and strong.
I'm strong in my affection for Valère, but coping with my father is his affair.
But if your father's brain has grown so cracked over his Tartuffe that he can retract his blessing, though your wedding date was named, surely it's not Valère who's to be blamed.
If I defied my father, as you suggest, wouldn't it not seem unmaidenly at best? Shall I defend my love at the expense of brazenness and disobedience? Shall I parade my heart's desires and
No! I ask nothing of you. Clearly, you want to be Madame Tartuffe, and I feel bound not to oppose a wish so very sound. What right have I to criticize the match? Indeed, my dear, the man's a brilliant catch. Monsieur Tartuffe, now there's a man of weight. Yes, Monsieur Tartuffe, I'm bound to state, is quite the man that's not to be denied. 'Twill be no little thing to be his bride.
Oh, dear God!
Think about how triumphant you'll feel at having caught a husband, so I feel.
Oh, do stop your teasing and use your cleverness to get me out of this appalling mess. Advise me, and I'll do whatever you say.
No. A dutiful daughter must obey her father, even if he weds her to an ape. You rather. Why struggle to escape?
Oh, you turned my blood to ice. Stop torturing me and give me your advice.
No, you deserve it. This wedding must go through.
Doreen, I beg of you.
No.
Doreen.
No.
Not Tartuffe, you know I think him.
Tartuffe's your cup of tea, and you shall drink him.
I've always told you everything and then rely.
No, you deserve to be Tartuffified.
Well, since you mock me and refuse to care, I'll henceforth seek my solace in despair. Despair shall be my counselor and friend. Help me bring my sorrows to an end.
Come. Anger subsided. You deserve some pity, I've decided.
Oh, Doreen, if father makes me undergo this dreadful martyrdom, I'll die, I know.
Come, don't fret. It won't be hard to come up with some plan of action. But here's Valère, your lover.
Madam, I've just received some wondrous news regarding which I'd like to hear your views.
What news?
You're marrying Tartuffe?
I find that father does have such a match in mind.
Your father, madam?
Has just this minute said that it is Tartuffe he wishes me to wed.
Can he be serious?
Oh, indeed, he can. He clearly set his heart upon the plan.
So what position do you propose to take, madam?
Why? Well, I don't know.
For heaven's sake, you don't know!
No?
Well.
Advise me too.
Marry the man, that's my advice to you.
That's your advice?
Yes!
Truly?
Oh, absolutely, you couldn't choose more wisely, more stupid.
Well, thanks for this counsel. I'll follow it, of course.
Do, I'm sure it will cost you no remorse.
To give it didn't cause your heart to break?
I gave it, madam, only for your sake.
And it's for your sake that I take it, sir.
Let's see which fool will prove the stubborner.
Saw nothing to you, and it was flat-out deception.
Please, enough of that. You told me plainly that I should agree to wed the man my father's chosen for me. And since you deigned to counsel me so wisely, I promise, sir, to do Do as you advise me.
No, 'twas not by me that you were swayed. No, your decision was already made. Though now, to save appearances, you protest that you're betraying me at my behest.
Just as you say.
Quite so. And now I see that you were never truly in love.
Alas, you're free to think so if you choose.
I choose to think so. Here's a bit of news. You spurred my hand and I know where to turn. For kinder treatment, as you shall quickly learn.
I'm sure you do. Your noble qualities inspire.
Forget my qualities, please. They don't inspire you over much I find. But there's another lady that I have in mind whose sweet and generous nature will not scorn to compensate me for the loss I've borne.
Well, I'm no great loss, and I'm sure you'll transfer your heart quite painlessly from me to her.
I'll do my best to take it in my stride. The pain I feel at being cast aside, time and forgetfulness may put an end to. Or if I can't forget, I will pretend to. No self-respecting person is expected to go on loving once he's been rejected.
Now that's a fine, high-minded sentiment.
One to which any sane man would assent. Would you prefer it if I pined away in hopeless passion till my dying day? Am I to yield you to a rival's arms and not console myself with other charms?
Go then, console yourself. Don't hesitate. I wish you to. Indeed, I cannot wait.
You wish me to?
Yes.
Well, fine. Farewell, madam. That's the final straw. Your wish shall be my law.
Splendid.
This breach, remember, is of your making. Remember, it's you who's driven me to the step that I'm taking.
Of course.
Well, remember that I'm merely following your example.
I see that clearly.
No, I'll go. I'll do your bidding then.
Good.
You shall never see my face again.
Excellent. That's true.
Yes.
What?
What was that? What did you say?
Nothing. You're dreaming.
Well, fine. Farewell, madam.
Farewell.
Do stop this nonsense now. I've only let you squabble so long to see where it would get you. Whoa there, Monsieur Belair.
What's this, Doreen? No, my heart, it's too full of spleen. Don't hold me back, or a wish must be obeyed.
Stop.
No, it's too late. My decision is made.
Oh, pooh. Oh, he hates the sight of me, that's plain. I'll go and so deliver him for pain.
But now you run away. Come back.
No, nothing you say will keep me here. Let's go.
She cannot bear my presence, I perceive. To spare her further torment I shall leave.
And now you run away again. You'll not escape, so don't you try it. Stop fussing, you two. Come here and be quiet.
What do you want of me?
What's the point of this?
We're going to have a little armistice. Now, weren't you silly to get so overheated?
Didn't you see how badly I was treated?
Aren't you a simpleton to have lost your head?
Didn't you hear the hateful things he said? Enough! You're both great fools.
Her soul desires to be yours in marriage, Belair. To that I'll swear. He loves you only and wants no wife but you, Marianne. On that I'll stake my life.
Then why did you advise me so? I cannot see.
On such a question, why ask advice of me?
Stop! You're impossible, you two. Give me your hands. Yours first. And now a hand from you.
What are you doing?
There. A perfect fit. You suit each other better than you'll admit.
Ah, come. Don't be so haughty. Give a man a look of kindness, won't you, Marianne?
Lovers, I tell you, are completely mad.
Now come, admit that you were very bad to hurt my feelings as you did just now, and I have a just complaint in which you must allow.
You must allow that you were most unpleasant. Let's table that discussion for the present. Your father has a plan which must be stopped.
Well, advise us then. What means must we adopt?
We'll adopt all manners of means, and all at once. Your father's addled. He's acting like a dunce. Therefore, you better yield to him. Be sweet and docile, and then postpone, as often as necessary, the day on which you've agreed to marry. You'll thus gain time, and time will turn the trick. Some days, for instance, you'll be taken sick, and that will seem good reason for delay. Or a bad omen will make you change the day. You'll dream of muddy waters, or pass a dead man's hearse, or break a looking glass. If all else fails, no man can marry you unless you take his ring and say, I do. For now, let's separate. If they should find us here, our plot may be divined. Go to your friends and tell them what's occurred, and have them urge her father to keep his word. Meanwhile, we'll stir her brother into action, and get Elmire as well to join our faction. Goodbye.
Though each of us will do his best, It is your heart on which my true hope shines.
Oh, regardless of what father may decide, none but Belair shall claim me as his bride.
How those words content me, come what will.
Oh, lovers, their tongues are never still. Be off now.
One last word.
No time to chat. You lead by this door, and you by that.
Strike me even as I speak. May all men call me cowardly and weak if any fear or scruple holds me back from settling things at once with that great whack.
Now don't give way to violent emotion. Your fathers merely talked about this notion. Words and deeds are far from being one. Much that is said is left undone.
No, I must stop that scoundrel's machinations. I'll go and tell him off. I'm out of patience.
Do calm down and be practical. I had rather my mistress dealt with him, and with your father. She has some influence with Tartuffe, I've noted. He hangs upon her every word and seems most devoted, and may indeed be smitten by her charm. Pray heaven it's true, to do our cause no harm. She sent for him just now to sound him out on this affair you're so incensed about. She'll find out where he stands and tell him, too, what friend of strife and trouble will ensue if he lends countenance to your father's plan. I couldn't get in to see him, but his man says he's almost finished with his prayers. Go now, I'll catch him when he comes downstairs.
I want to hear this conference, and I will.
No, they must be alone.
Oh, I'll keep still.
Not you, I know your temper. You'd start to brawl and shout, and stomp your foot and spoil it all.
I won't! I have a perfect right!
He's coming! Get out of sight!
Now, hang up my hair shirt and put my skirt in place. And pray, Laurent, for heaven's perpetual grace, I'm going to prison now to share my last few coins with the poor wretches there.
Oh, dear God, what an affectation. What a fake!
You wish to see me?
Yes.
Oh, for mercy's sake, please, take this handkerchief before you speak.
What?
Cover the bosom, girl. The flesh is weak. Unclean thoughts are difficult to control. Such sights as that can undermine the soul.
Your soul, it seems, has very poor defenses, and flesh makes quite an impact on your senses. It's strange that you're so easily ignited. My own desires are not so easily excited, and if I saw you naked as a beast, not all your hide would tempt me in the least.
Girl, speak more honestly. Unless you do, I shall be forced to take my leave of you.
No, it's I who must be on my way. I've just a little message to convey. Madame is coming down, sir, and begs for you to wait and have a word or two.
Gladly.
That had a softening effect. I think my guess about him was correct.
Will she be long?
No, that's her step, I hear. Ah, here she is, and I shall disappear.
May heaven, whose infinite goodness we adore, preserve your body and soul forevermore, and bless your days, and answer thus the plea of one who is its humblest votary.
I thank you for that pious wish, but please do take a seat and let's be more at ease.
I trust you're once more well and strong.
Oh yes, the fever didn't last for long.
Oh, my prayers are too unworthy, I am sure, to have gained from heaven this most gracious cure. But lately, madam, my every supplication has had for object your recuperation.
You shouldn't have troubled so. I don't deserve it.
Your health is priceless, madam, and to preserve it, I gladly give my own in all sincerity.
No, sir, you outdo us all in Christian charity. You've been most kind. I count myself your debtor.
'Twas nothing, madam. I long to serve you better.
There is a private matter I'm anxious to discuss, and I'm glad there's no one here to hinder us.
I, too, am glad. It floods my heart with bliss to find myself alone with you like this. For just this chance, I pray with all my power, but
prayed in vain until this happy hour.
This won't take long, sir, and I hope you'll be entirely frank and unconstrained with me.
Indeed, there is nothing I'd rather do than bare my inmost heart and soul to you. But first, let me say what remarks I've made about the constant visits you are paid were not prompted by any mean emotion, but by a pure and deep devotion, fervent zeal.
Oh, no need for explanation. Your sole concern, I'm sure, was my salvation.
Quite so, and such great fervor do I feel.
Oh, please, you're pinching.
'Twas from excess of zeal. I never meant to cause you pain. I swear, I rather.
What can your hand be doing there?
Feeling your gown. Oh, what soft, fine woven stuff.
Oh, please, I'm extremely ticklish. That's enough.
My. What lovely stitching on your dress. Oh, the workmanship's miraculous. No less. I've not seen anything to equal it.
Yes, quite. But let's talk business for a bit. They say my husband means to break his word and give his daughter to you, sir. Have you heard?
He did once mention it, but I confess, I dream of quite a different happiness. It's elsewhere, madam, that my eyes discern the promise for that bliss for which I yearn.
I see, you care for nothing here below.
My heart's not made of stone, you know.
Oh, all your desires mount heavenward, I'm sure, and scorn of all that's earthly and impure.
Oh, a love of heavenly beauty does not preclude a proper love for earthly pulchritude. Our senses are quite rightly captivated by perfect works our Maker has created. How could I look on you? Oh, flawless creature, and not regard the author of all nature, feeling a love both passionate and pure for you, his triumph of self-portraiture. It is, I know, presumptuous on my part to bring to you a poor offering of my heart, but it is not my merit, heaven knows, but your compassion on which my hopes repose. You are my peace, my solace, my salvation. On you depends my bliss or desolation. I bide your judgment, and as you see best, I shall either be miserable or blessed.
Your declaration is most gallant, sir, but don't you think it's out of character? You'd have done better to restrain your passion and think before you spoke in such a fashion. It ill becomes a pious man like you.
I may be pious, but I'm human, too. With your celestial charms before his eyes, a man has not the power to be wise. I know such words sound strangely coming from me, but I'm no angel, nor is meant to be. And if you blame my passion, you must needs reproach, as well the charms on which it feeds. My eyes, my sighs have told you in the past what now my lips make bold to say at last. And if in your great goodness you will deign to look upon your slave and ease his pain, if in compassion for my soul's distress you'll stoop to comfort my unworthiness, I'll raise to you, in thanks for that manna, an endless hymn, an infinite Hosanna! With me, of course, there need be no anxiety, no fear of scandal or of notoriety. No, these young court gallants, whom all the ladies fancy, are vain in speech, and in action rash and chancy. When they succeed in love, the world soon knows it. No favors granted them, but they disclose it, and by the looseness of their tongues profane the very altar where their hearts beat. Men of my sort, however, love discreetly, and one may trust our reticence completely. My keen concern for my good name ensures the absolute security of yours. In short, I offer you, my dear Elmire, love without scandal, pleasure without fear.
I've heard your well-turned speeches till the end, and what you urge I clearly apprehend. Aren't you afraid that I might take a notion to tell my husband of your warm devotion? That supposing he were duly told, his feelings towards you might grow rather cold.
Well, I know, dear lady, that your exceeding charity will lead your heart to pardon my temerity, that you'll excuse my violent affection as human weakness, human imperfection, and that, oh fairies, you will bear in mind that I am but flesh and blood, and am not blind.
Some women might do otherwise, perhaps, but I shall be discreet about your lapse. I'll tell my husband nothing of what's occurred if, in return, you give your solemn word to advocate as forcefully as you can the marriage of Valère and Marianne, renouncing all desire to dispossess another of his rightful happiness. And
No! Will not hush up this vile affair. I heard it all inside that closet there, where heaven, in order to confound the pride of this great rascal, prompted me to hide. Now I have my long awaited chance to punish his deceit and arrogance, and give my father clear and shocking proof of the black character of his dear Tartuffe.
No, stop! To me! Be content if he will study to deserve my leniency. I promise silence. Don't make me break my word. To make a scandal would be to observe. Good wives laugh off such trifles and forget them. Why should they tell their husbands and upset them?
You have your reasons for taking such a course, and I have reasons too, of equal force. To spare him now would be insanely wrong. I've swallowed my just wrath for far too long, and watched this insolent bigot bringing strife and bitterness into our family life. Too long he's meddled in my father's affairs, thwarting my marriage hopes, and poor Valère's. It's high time my father was undeceived. And now I've proof that can't be disbelieved. Proof furnished me by heaven above. It's too good not to take advantage of. This is my chance, and I deserve to lose it if for one moment I hesitate to use it.
To me!
No! I must do what I think right. Madam, my heart is bursting with delight, and say whatever you will. I'll not consent to lose the sweet revenge on which I'm bent. I'll settle matters without more ado. And here most opportunely is my father. I'm glad you joined us. Let us advise you of some fresh news. Doubtless will surprise you. You've just now been repaid with interest for all your loving kindness to our guest. He's proved his warm and grateful feelings towards you. It's with a pair of horns he would reward you. Yes, I surprised him with your wife and heard his whole adulterous offer. Every word. She with her all too gentle disposition wouldn't have told you of his proposition. But I shall not make terms with brazen lechery, and feel that not to tell you would be treachery.
I hold that one's husband's peace of mind should not be spoiled by tattle of this kind. One's honor doesn't require it. To be proficient in keeping men at bay is quite sufficient. These are my sentiments, and I wish to me that you had heeded me and held your peace.
Dreadful thing right here?
Yes, brother, I'm a wicked man, I fear. A wretched sinner, all depraved and twisted. The greatest villain who's ever existed. My life's one heap of crimes, which grows each minute. There's not profoundness and corruption in it. And I perceive that heaven, outraged by me, has chosen this occasion to mortify me. Charge me with any deed you wish to name. I'll not defend myself, but take the blame. Believe what you are told, and drive Tartuffe like some base criminal from beneath your roof. Yes, drive me hence, and with a parting curse, I shall protest, for I deserve far worse.
You deceitful boy! How dare you try to state his purity with so foul a lie?
Are you so taken in by such a bluff? Did you not hear?
Enough, you rogue, enough!
Oh, brother, let him speak. You're being unjust. Believe his story. The boy deserves your trust. Why, after all, should you have faith in me? How can you know what I might do or be? Is it on my good actions that you base your favor? You trust my pious face. No, do not be fooled by such hollow shows. I am far, alas, from being what men suppose. Though the world may take me for a man of work, I am truly the most worthless man on earth. Yes, my dear son, speak out now. Call me the chief of sinners, a wretch, a murderer, a thief. Load me with all the names men most abhor. I'll not complain, I've earned them all, and more. Oh, kneel here as you pour them on my head for a just punishment for this life I've led.
Oh, this is too much, dear brother. Have you no heart?
Are you so hoodwinked by this rascal's art?
Silence!
But he's...
Just one word more and I'll tear you limb from limb.
Oh,
Can't
no.
you realize...
Name, brother, don't be harsh with him. I'd rather far be tortured at the stake than see him bear one scratch for my poor sake.
Oh, ingrate!
If I must beg you, on bended knee, to pardon him.
Such goodness cannot be.
Oh.
And now there's true charity.
You can't possibly believe
And the villain, be still. I know your motives. I know you wish him ill. And yes, all of you conspire against him. All. You conspire against him and desire his fall, employing every shameful trick you can to alienate me from this saintly man. Oh, but the more you do to keep him, drive him away, the more I'll do to keep him. Without delay, I'll spite this household and confound its pride by giving him my daughter as his bride.
You're going to force her to accept his hand?
Yes, and this very night, you understand? I shall defy you all and make it clear that I'm the one who gives the orders here. Come, wretch. Kneel and clasp his blessed feet and ask his pardon for your black deceit.
I ask that swindler's pardon? Why, I'd rather...
So, you insult him and defy your father?
Whoa!
No! That's it! That's it! I know what you do! Go! Down of my house this minute! Be off with you and never dare set foot in it again!
Well, I shall go!
Well, go quickly then! I disinherit you! An empty purse is all you'll get from me, except my curse! How he blasphemed your goodness! The Lord of what a son!
Forgive him, Lord, as I have already done. You can't know. It hurts when someone tries to blacken me, my dear brother's eye.
Oh,
Such horror grips my heart. Oh, I gasp for breath and cannot speak, and feel myself near death.
You blackguard! Why did I spare you? Why did I not rip you into little pieces on the spot? Compose yourself and don't be hurt.
Oh, these seeds, these dreadful quarrels have got you, eh? I've much upset your household, and I perceive the best thing to do will be for me to leave.
What are you saying?
They're all against me here. They have you think me false and insincere.
What of that? Have I ceased believing in you?
Their adverse talk will certainly continue, and charges which you now repudiate you may find credible at a later time.
No, brother, never.
Mother, a wife can sway her husband's mind in many a subtle way.
No.
To leave at once is the solution. Thus only can I end my persecution.
No, I'll not allow it. You shall remain.
Oh, well, 'twill mean much martyrdom and pain, but If you wish it.
Oh.
Enough. So be it.
Oh.
But one thing must be settled as I see it. For your dear honor, and for our friendship's sake, there's one precaution I feel bound to take. I shall avoid your wife and keep away.
No, you shall not. Oh. Whatever they may say, it pleases me to vex them, and despite, I don't want to see you with her day and night. What's more, I'm going to drive them to despair by making you my only son and heir. Yes, today I give to you alone clear deed entitled to everything I own. A dear good friend and son-in-law to be is more than wife or child of kin to me. Will you accept my offer, dearest son?
In all things, let the will of heaven be done.
Come, we'll go draw up the deed and let them burst with disappointed greed.
Yes, all the towns discussing it angrily. Their comments do not flatter you unduly. I'm glad we've met, sir, and I'll give my view of this sad matter in a word or two. As for who's guilty, that I shan't discuss. Let's say it was Dummy who caused the fuss. Assuming then that you've been ill-used by young Dummy and groundlessly accused, ought not a Christian to forgive? And ought he not to stifle every vengeful thought? Should you stand by and watch a father make his only son an exile for your sake? No. Sacrifice your wrath to God above and help Dummy regain his father's love.
Alas, for my part, I take great joy in doing so. I've nothing against the boy. I pardon all. I harbor no resentment. To serve him would afford me much contentment, but heaven's interest will not have it so. If he comes back, then I shall have to go. And after his conduct, so extreme, so vicious, our further intercourse will look suspicious. God knows what people would think. Why, they describe my behavior to him as a sort of bribe. They'd say that out of guilt, I made kindness, a false love and benevolence, that fearing my accuser's tongue, I strove to buy his silence with a show of love.
Your reasoning is badly warped and stretched. These excuses, sir, are most far-fetched.
Again, sir, let me say that I've forgiven Dummy and thus obey the laws of heaven. But I am not commanded by the Bible to live one who
Were you
smears my
commanded,
name.
sir, to indulge the whim of poor Organo, to encourage him in suddenly transferring to your name a large estate to which you have no claim?
Oh, well, it would not occur to those that know me best to think I acted out of self-interest. The treasures of this world I quite despise. Their specious glitter does not charm my eyes. And if I have resigned myself to taking the gift which my dear brother insists on making, I do so only, as he well understands, lest so much wealth should fall into wicked hands, lest those to whom it might descend in time turn it to purposes of sin and crime, and not as I shall make use of it, for heaven's glory and mankind's benefit.
Get these trumped-up fears. Your argument is one the rightful heir might well resent. It is a moral burden to inherit such wealth, but give Dummy a chance to bear it. And would it not be worse to be accused of swindling than to see that wealth misused? I am shocked that you allowed Orgon to broach this matter and that you feel no self-reproach. Does true religion teach that rightful heirs may freely be deprived of what is theirs? And if the Lord has told you in your heart that you and young Dummy must dwell apart, would it not be the decent thing to be the generous and honorable honorable retreat, rather than let the son of the house be sent for your convenience into banishment? Sir, if you wish to prove the honesty of your...
It's 3:30. I've certain pious duties to attend to, and hope my prompt departure won't offend you.
Damn.
Stay, sir, and help Marianne, for heaven's sake. She's suffering, so I fear her heart will break. Her father's plan to marry her off tonight has put the poor child in a desperate plight. Well, I hear him coming now. Can't we stand together and see if we can't change his mind somehow about this match we'll deplore and fear?
Ha! Glad to find you all assembled here. This contract, child, contains your happiness, and what it says, I think your heart can guess.
Sir?
Oh.
By that heaven which sees me here distressed, and by whatever else can move your breast, do not employ a father's power, I pray you, to crush my heart and force it to obey you, nor by your harsh commands oppress me so that I'll begrudge the duty which I owe, and do not so embitter and enslave me that I shall hate the very life you gave me. If my sweet hopes must perish, if you refuse me to give me to the one I've dared to choose, spare me, I beg you, I implore, the pain of wedding one who I abhor, and do not by a heartless use of force drive me to contemplate some desperate course.
Be firm, my soul. No human weakness now.
I do not resent your love for him. Allow your heart free rein, sir. Your property, and if that's not enough, take mine from me. He's welcome to my money. Take it too, but do not, I pray, include my person too. Spare me, I beg you, and let me end the tale of my sad days behind a convict veil.
A convent? Oh, when cross and there was all lovesick girls of the same thought as yours. Get up! The more you loathe the man and dread him, the more ennobling it will be to wed him. Marry Tartuffe and mortify your flesh. And God, don't start that whimpering afresh.
Why?
Be still there, speak little or spoken to. Not one more bit of impudence out of you.
If I may offer a word of counsel.
Brother, in counseling, you have no fear. All your advice is forceful, sound, and clever. I don't propose to follow it, however.
I am amazed and don't know what to say. Your blindness simply takes my breath away. You are indeed bewitched to take no warning of our account of what occurred this morning.
Madam, I know a few plain facts. And one is that you're partial to my rascal son. Thus, when he sought to make Tartuffe the victim of a base lie, you dared not contradict him. Ah, but you underplayed your part, my pet. You should have looked more angry, more upset.
When men make overtures, must we reply with righteous anger and a battle cry? Must we turn back their amorous advances with sharp reproaches and with fiery glances? Myself, I find such offers merely amusing and make no scenes and fusses in refusing. My taste is for good-natured rectitude, and I dislike the savage sort of prude who guards her virtue with her teeth and claws and tears men's eyes out for the slightest cause. The Lord preserve me from such honors, that which bites and scratches like an alley cat. I thought that a polite and cool rebuff disparages a lover quite enough.
Well, I know the facts, and I shall not be shaken.
And I marvel at your power to be mistaken. What is, I wonder, can we wait with you if I could show you that our tale is true?
Show me?
Yeah.
Rot.
Come, what if I found a way to make you see the facts as plain as day?
Nonsense.
Do answer me. Don't be absurd. I'm not now asking you to trust our word. Suppose that from some hiding place in here you learn the whole sad truth by eye and ear. What would you say of your good friend after that?
Oh, I'd say nothing. By Jehoshaphat, it can't be true.
You have been too long deceived, and I am quite tired of being disbelieved. Let's put my statements to the test, and you shall see the truth made manifest.
Well, I'll take that challenge, and I'll do your uttermost. We'll see how good you make your empty boast.
Have him come down.
He's crafty and might be hard to catch the cunning scoundrel off his guard.
No. Amorous men are gullible, and their conceit so blindsome that they're never hard to cheat. Bring him to me. And please, leave us for a bit. Now, pull up this table and get under it.
What?
It's essential that you be well hidden.
Like that?
Oh, heavens, just do as you are bidden. My plans will soon say how they fare. Under the table now, and once you're there, take care that you are neither seen nor heard.
Well, I'll indulge you since I gave my word to see you through this infantile charade.
Oh, once it's over, you'll be glad we played. I'm going to act quite strangely now, and you must not be shocked by anything I do. Since it's for your sake and for his destruction, I shall seem to yield to his seduction. I'll gladly stop whenever you decide that all your doubts are fully satisfied. I'll count on you as soon as you have seen what sort of man he is to intervene, and not expose me to his odious lust one moment longer than you feel you must. Remember, you're to save me from my plight. Oh, God, it's coming. Get out of sight!
Word with me, I'm told.
Yes, I have a little secret to unfold. But before I speak, it would be wise to close that door and look about for spies.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, the very last thing that must happen now is a repetition of this morning's row. I've never been so badly caught off guard. Oh, how I feared for you. You saw how hard I tried to make that troublesome Demi control his dreadful temper and hold his peace. At the time, I didn't have the sense to simply contradict his evidence. But as it happens, that was for the best, and all has worked out in our interest. This storm has only bettered your position, and my husband doesn't have the least suspicion. And now, in mockery of those who do, he bids me be continually with you. And that is why, quite fearless of reproof, I can now be alone with my Tartuffe.
Madam, your words confuse me. Not long ago, you've spoken quite a different style, you know.
Oh, sir, if that refusal made you smart, it's little that you know of woman's heart. Or what that heart is trying to convey when it resists in such a feeble way. Always at first our modesty prevents the frank avowal of tender sentiments. However high the passion which inflames us, still to confess its power somehow shames us. Thus we reluct, yet in a tone that tells you that our heart is overthrown. What our lips deny, our pulse confesses, that in time all no's will turn to yeses. I fear my words are all too frank and free, and a poor proof of woman's modesty.
Madam, no happiness is so complete as when from lips we love come words so sweet. Their nectar floods my every sense and drains in hot rivulets through all my veins. To please you is my joy, my only goal. Your love is the restorer of my soul. And yet, I must make leave now to confess some lingering doubts as to my happiness. Might this not be a trick? Might not the intention be that you wish me to break off the match with Marianne, and so have feigned to love me? I shan't quite trust your fond opinion of me until the feelings you've expressed so sweetly are demonstrated somewhat more concretely. And you have shown by certain kind of concessions that I may put my faith in your professions.
Why such a hurry? Must my heart exhaust its bounty at the very start? To make that sweet admission cost me dear, but you'll not be content it would appear till all my store of favors is dispersed, to the last farthing and at the very first.
Well, the less we merit, the less we dare to hope. And with our doubts, your words can never cope. We trust no promised bliss till we receive it. Not till a joy is ours can we believe it. And I, who so little merit your esteem, can't credit this fulfillment of my dream, and shan't believe it, madam, until I savor some palpable assurance of your favor.
Oh, my, how tyrannical your love can be, and how it flusters and perplexes me. How furiously you take one's heart in hand and make your every wish a fierce command. Come, must you hound and harry me to death? not give me time to catch my breath? Or can it be right to press me with such force? Give me no quarter, show me no remorse, and take advantage by your stern insistence of the fond feelings which weaken my resistance.
Well, if you look with favor upon my love, why, then begrudge me some clear proof thereof.
How can I consent without offense to heaven, toward which you feel such reverence?
Oh, if heaven is all that holds you back, you needn't worry. I can remove that hindrance in a hurry. Why? Nothing of that sort need obstruct our path.
Must one not be afraid of heaven's wrath?
Forget such fears and be my pupil, and I will teach you how to conquer scruple. Some joys, it's true, are wrong in heaven's eyes, yet heaven is not averse to compromise. No, there is a science lately formulated whereby one's conscience may be liberated and any wrongful act you care to mention may be redeemed by purity of intention. I'll teach you the secrets of that science, madam. Meanwhile, just place on me your full reliance. Assuage my keen desire, and feel no dread. The sin, if any, shall be on my head. Oh, you've got a bad cough.
Yes, pounding.
Bit of licorice may be what you need.
No, I'm a stomach cold. I'm sure it will take much more than licorice to cure it.
How aggravating.
Oh, more than I can say.
Well, if you're still troubled, think of things this way. No one shall know our joys save us alone, and there's no evil till the act is known. No, it's scandal, madam, which makes it an offense, and it's no sin to sin in confidence.
Clearly, I must do as you require and yield to your importunate desire. It is apparent now that nothing less will satisfy you, so I acquiesce. To go so far is much against my will. I'm vexed that it should come to this, but still, since you are so determined on it, since you will not allow mere language to convince you, and since you ask for concrete proof, I see nothing for it now but to comply. If this is sinful and I'm wrong to do it, so much the worse for him who drove me to it. The fault can surely not be charged with me.
Oh, the fault is mine, madam, if fault there be.
Do open that door a minute and step out. We wouldn't want my husband poking about.
Why worry about the man? Each day he grows more gullible. One would lead him by the nose.
Yeah.
To find us here would fill him with delight, and if he saw the worst, oh, he'd doubt his sight.
Nevertheless, do step out for a minute into the hall and see that no one's in it.
That man is a perfect monster. I must admit. I'm simply stunned. I can't get over it.
What? Coming out so soon? How premature! Get back in hiding. Wait until you're sure. Stay till the end and be convinced completely. You mustn't stop till things are proved concretely.
I'll never harbored anything so vicious.
Tut, don't be hasty. Try to be judicious. Wait and be certain that there's no mistake. No jumping to conclusions, for heaven's sake. Oh, God.
Madam, I have given the neighboring rooms a full inspection, and everything has worked out to perfection. And now, I may at last.
Hold on! My passionate fellow, not so fast. I should advise a little more restraint. Oh, so soon you thought you'd fool me, my dear saint. How soon you wearied of the saintly life, marrying my daughter, and becoming my wife? given me evidence galore. It's quite enough. I've no wish for more.
Oh, I'm sorry to have treated you so slyly, but circumstances forced me to be wily.
Brother, you can't...
No more talk from you. Just leave this household without more ado.
What I intend to...
That seems fairly clear. Stem in your falsehoods and get out of here.
No. No, I'm the master, and you're the one to go. And this house belongs to me, I'll have you know. And I'll show you that you can't hurt me by the means of this contemptible conspiracy. That those who cross me know not what they do, and that I means to expose and punish you, avenge our offended heaven, and make you grieve that ever you dared order me to leave. Oh!
What was the point of all that angry chatter?
Oh, dear God. I'm worried. This is no laughing matter.
How so?
I fear I understood his drift. I'm much disturbed about that deed of gift.
You gave it?
Yes, it's all been drawn and signed. The one thing more is weighing on my mind.
What's that?
Well, I'll tell you, but first let's see if there's a certain strongbox in his room upstairs. Just think of it. Behind that fervent face, a heart so wicked, a soul so base. I took him in, a hungry beggar, and then... Enough, by God, I'm through with pious men. Henceforth, I'll hate the whole false brotherhood and persecute them worse than Satan could.
There you go, extravagant as ever. Why can you not be rational? You never manage to take the middle course that seems to jump and step between absurd extremes. You've recognized your recent grave mistake in falling victim to pious fake. To correct that error, must you embrace an even greater error in its place and judge your worthy neighbors as a whole by what you've learned over one corrupted soul? Don't humor fraud. Also don't disperse true piety. The latter fault is worse, and it's best to err if err one must, as you have done, on the side of trust.
Father, I hear that scoundrels utter threats against you, and that he pridefully forgets how in his need he was befriended by you. It means to use your gifts to crucify you.
It's true. My boy, I'm too distressed for tears.
Leave it to me, sir. Let me trim his ears. Faced with such insolence, we must not waver. I shall rejoice in doing you the favor of cutting short his life.
to a disgrace.
What a display of young hot-headedness. To learn to moderate your fits of rage. In this just kingdom, this enlightened age, one does not settle things by violence.
I hear strange tales of very strange events.
Yes, strange events which these two eyes beheld. The man's ingratitude is unparalleled. I save a wretched pauper from starvation, house him, and treat him like a blood relation, shower him every day with my largesse, give him my daughter and all that I possess, and meanwhile, the unconscionable knave tries to induce my wife to misbehave, and not content with such extreme rascality, now threatens me with my own liberality, and aims by taking base advantage of the gifts I gave him out of Christian love, to drive me from my house, a ruined man, and make me end pauper as he began.
No, my son. No, my son. I can never bring myself to think him guilty of such a thing.
How's that?
The righteous always were maligned.
Speak clearly, mother. Say what's on your mind.
I mean that I can smell a rat, my dear. You know how everybody hates him here.
That has no bearing on the case at all.
Oh, I told you 100 times when you were small that virtue in this world is hated ever. Malicious men may die, but malice never.
No doubt that's true, but how does it apply?
They turned you against him by a clever lie.
Mother, I told you I was there, and sorry not.
Oh, slanderers will stop at nothing, son.
Mother, for the last time, I tell you I was witness to the crime.
The tongues of spite are busy night and noon. To their venom no man is immune.
You're talking nonsense. Can't you realize I saw it? Saw it? I saw it with my eyes. Saw! Do you understand me? Must I shout it in your ears before you cease to doubt it?
Appearances can deceive, my son. Dear me, we cannot always judge by what we see.
Drat! Drat!
One often interprets things awry. Good can seem evil to a suspicious eye.
Oh, was I to see his pouring it out here as an act of charity?
Till his guilt is clear. A man deserves the benefit of the doubt. You should have waited to see how things turned out.
Good God in heaven, what more proof did I need? Oh, was I to sit there, watching until he'd drive me to the brink of impropriety?
No, no, a man of such surpassing piety could not do such a thing. You cannot shake me, I don't believe it, and you shall not make me. No.
If you vex me so that if you were my mother, I'd say to you, some dreadful thing or other.
It's your turn now not to be listened to. You'd not trust us, and now she won't trust you.
My friends, we are wasting time which should be spent in facing up to a predicament. I fear that scoundrel's threats weren't made in sport.
Do you think he'd have the nerve to go to court?
I'm sure he won't. They'd find it all too crude. A case of swindling and ingratitude.
Don't be too sure. You won't be at a loss to give his claims a high and righteous gloss. Clever rogues before less valid cause have trapped their victims in a web of laws. I say again that to antagonize a man so strongly armed was most unwise.
I know it, but the man's appalling cheek outraged me so I couldn't control my pique.
Wish that we could devise some truce between you or some compromise.
If I'd have known the cards he held, I'd not have roused his anger with my little plot.
Oh, dear me.
What is that man doing here? Who is he? Go and talk to him and tell him that I'm busy.
Good day, dear sister. Kindly let me see your master.
He's involved with company and can't be disturbed just now, I fear.
Well, I hate to intrude, but what has brought me here will not disturb your master in any event. Indeed, my news will make him most content.
Your name?
Just say that I bring greetings from Major Tartuffe, on whose behalf I've come.
Sir, he's a very gracious man and says he brings news on behalf of Mr. Tartuffe, which he claims will make you most content.
Upon my word, that man had best be seen and heard.
Perhaps he has some settlement to suggest? How should I treat him? What manner would be best?
Control your anger. And if he should mention some fair adjustment, give him your full attention.
Good health to you, good sir. May heaven confound your enemies and may your joys abound.
Gentle salutation. It confirms my guess that he is here to offer terms.
I've held your family most dear, and I've served your father, sir, for many a year.
Forgive me, sir, but, to my shame, I cannot now recall your face or name.
Well, Lowell's my name. I come from Normandy, and I'm a bailiff in all modesty. For 40 years, praise God, it's been my boast to serve with honor in that vital post. And I'm here today, sir, if you will permit liberty to serve you with this writ.
To what?
Now, please, sir, let us have no friction. It's nothing but our order of eviction. You are to move your goods and your family out and make way for new occupants without deferment or delay, and give the keys.
Leave this house?
Well, yes, sir, if you please. This house from cellar to roof belongs now to the good Mijar Tartuffe, and he is the master of your estate by virtue of the deed, drawn in due form and clearest legal phrasing.
Your insolence is utterly amazing!
Young man, my business is here, not with you, but with your wise and temperate father, who, like every worthy citizen, stands in awe of justice and would never obstruct the law.
But I did
Not for a million, sir, would you rebel against authority. I know that well. You'll not make trouble nor interfere with the execution of my duties here.
Someone may execute a smart tattoo on that black jacket of yours before you're through.
Sir, bid your son be silent. I hate having to mention such a nasty bit of violence in Braddock Court.
This man Loyal's the most disloyal sort.
I love all men of upright character, and when I agreed to serve these papers to you, sir, it was your feelings I had in mind. I couldn't bear to see this case assigned to someone else who might esteem you less and so subject you to
what's more unpleasant than asking a man to leave his house and home?
You'd like a short reprieve? If you desire, I shall not press you, but wait until tomorrow to dispossess you. Splendid, I'll come and spend the night here then, most quietly, with happens for a man. For form's sake, you might bring me before you go to bed the keys to the front door. My men, I promise, will be on their best behavior. But bright and early, sir, you must be quick and move out all your furniture every step. The men I've chosen are both young and strong, and with your help, it shouldn't take too long. In short, I'll make things pleasant and convenient, and since I'm being so extremely lenient, please show me, sir, a like consideration and give me your entire cooperation.
I may be all but destitute, but I vow I give 100 louis, here and now, just for the pleasure of landing one good clout right on the end of his complacent snout.
Don't make things worse.
My boot sole itches to give that beggar a good kick in the britches.
I'd love to hear the whack of a stout stick across your fine broad back.
Take care. A woman too may go to jail if she uses threatening language against a baby.
Enough, sir. This must not go on. Give me that paper, please, and be gone.
Well, good day. God give you all good cheer.
May God confound you and him who sent you here! Oh, now, mother, was I right or not? This bridge should change your notion of Tartuffe a bit. Do you perceive his villainy at last?
I'm thunderstruck. I'm utterly aghast.
Oh, come now. You mustn't take offense at this new proof of his benevolence. He's acting out of selfless love. I know. Material things enslave the soul, and so he's arranged for your liberation from all which may endanger your salvation.
Will you not ever hold your tongue, you dunce?
Oh, you must take some action and at once.
Go and tell the world of the low trick he's tried. That deed of gift is surely nullified by such behavior, and public rage will not permit this wretch to carry out his plot.
Sir!
Though I hate to bring you more bad news,
Oh,
such is the danger that I cannot choose. A friend who is extremely close to me and knows of my interest in your family has for my sake presumed to violate the very secrecy that's due to the things of state, and sends me word that you are in plight, by which your one salvation lies in flight. That scoundrel who imposed upon you so denounced you to the king an hour ago, and as supporting evidence displayed the strongbox of a certain renegade, whose secret papers so he testified that you had disloyally agreed to hide. I don't know what charges may be pressed, but I know that it's a warrant out for your arrest. That Tartuffe has furthermore been instructed to guide the arresting officer to your door.
It's clearly done this to facilitate the seizure of your house and your estate.
The man, I must say, is a vicious beast!
Quick, sir, you mustn't tarry in the least. I have a carriage outside to take you hence. This 1,000 louis shall cover all expense. No, let's lose no time or you shall be undone. The sole defense in this case is to run. Now, come. I shall go all the way with you and place you in a safe refuge to which they'll never trace you.
Oh, my boy, I wish that I could show you my gratitude for everything I owe you. But now is not the time. I pray the Lord that I may live to give you your reward. So farewell, my dears, and be careful.
Don't worry, we shall take care of things. You needn't worry.
Gently, sir, gently. Stay right where you are. No need for haste, your lodging isn't far. Off to prison now, by order of the prince.
This is the crowning blow, you wretch. And since it means my total ruin and defeat, your villainy is now at last complete.
Sir, you needn't try to provoke me. It's of no use. Those who serve heaven must expect abuse.
You are indeed most patient, sweet, and blameless.
Your taunts and mockeries are all for naught. To do my duty is my own fault.
Your love of duty is most meritorious, and what you've done is a little short of glorious.
Well, all deeds are glorious, madam. I obey the sovereign prince who sent me here today.
I rescued you when you were destitute. Have you forgotten that, you thankless brute?
Oh, I well remember everything. But my first duty is to serve my king, and that obligation's so paramount that other claims beside it do not count. Well, before I give my wife, my friend, my family, or my own life.
That hypocrite, all that we most revere, he uses to cloak his plots and camouflage his bruises.
It is true that you are animated by pure and loyal zeal, as you've stated. Why was that zeal not roused until you've made Organ a cuckold and been caught? Why weren't you moved to give your evidence until your outraged host had driven you hence? Oh, I shan't say that the gift of all his treasure should have damped your zeal in any measure. He is a traitor, as you declare. How could you condescend to be his heir?
Sir, spare me all this clamor. It's growing shrill. Please, carry out your orders, if you will.
Yes, I've delayed too long, sir. Thank you kindly. You're just the proper person to remind me.
Come. You're off to join the other boarders in the king's prison, according to his orders.
I, sir?
Yes.
No, to prison. This can't be true.
We owe an explanation, but not to you. Sir, all is well. Rest easy and be grateful. We serve a prince to whom all sham is hidden. A prince who sees into our inmost hearts.
He can't be fooled by any trickster's arts.
His royal soul, though generous and human, views all things with discernment and acumen. His sovereign reason is not lightly swayed, and all of his judgments are discreetly weighed. He honors righteous men of every kind.
And yet his zeal for virtue is not blind, nor does his love of piety numb his wits and make him tolerant of hypocrites.
It was hardly likely that this man could cousin a king who spoiled such liars by the dozen.
With one keen glance, the king perceived the whole perverseness and corruption of his soul. Thus high heaven's justice was displayed, betraying you, the rogue stood, self-betrayed.
The king soon recognized Tartuffe as one notorious by another name, who had done so many vicious crimes that one could fill 10 volumes with them and be writing.
But to be brief, our sovereign was appalled by this man's treachery towards you, which he called the last, worst villainy of a vile career. It bade us follow the impostor here to see how gross his impudence can be in enforcement of restore your property. Your private papers by the king's command we hereby seize and place into your hands.
The king by royal order invalidates the deed which gave this rascal your estates, and pardons furthermore your great offense in harboring and exiles documents.
By these decrees, our prince rewards you for your efforts of that late civil lord. It shows our heartfelt is his satisfaction in recompensing any worthy action, and how much he prizes merit,
and how much he makes more of men's virtues than of their mistakes.
Heaven be praised!
I'm breathing again at
We're
last.
saved! I can't believe the king just passed!
Well, traitor, now you see that...
Let's not descend to such indignities. Leave that poor wretch to his unhappy fate. Don't say anything to aggravate his present woes. But rather hope that he will soon embrace an honest piety, by a true repentance move our just king to moderate his sentence. Now, meanwhile, go kneel before your sovereign's throne and thank him for the mercies he has shown.
That's well said, brother. Let's all go at once and gladly kneeling, express the gratitude which all are feeling. And then, when that first great duty has been done, we'll turn with pleasure to a second one, and give Valere, whose love has proven so true, the wedded happiness which is his due.